What's up? What's poppin', everybody? Today is October 25th, 2025.
24th.
Welcome, 24th. Sorry. Already looking forward to tomorrow. Welcome to Friday Night Live here on the Self Made Sports Network. Uh, Presented, as always, by Hybrid Promotions and brought to you by Self Made, the label music. I go by Slim. As always, I'm joined by my boy JT, and the captain of the ship is with us tonight. Young Bakes. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing pretty good, brothers.
All right, my guys. Um, so I guess I'm gonna leave it open to the floor. Whoever wants to start out with what?
Well, I kind of wanted. Obviously it's a little dated, but it's been a while since we had our last show. I kind of wanted to talk about the Penn State job. I think the last time we had a show, it might have just been a couple days before James Franklin got fired, and since then there's been a couple of different jobs that opened up, but certainly I would say even if you look at like Florida and stuff like that, I still think that Penn State's probably still the marquee job that opened up. So I kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts and maybe on a couple of different candidates that I was kind of thinking of. Um, Obviously, first things first, and Josh, I'll kind of bounce this off of you. No surprise, this is going to be a job that Matt Campbell is probably going to be contacted about if he hasn't been already. I don't know where Matt Campbell would rank on their list. I'm guessing maybe not number one. They might take a few bigger swings that I might talk about here in a little bit. But um, certainly, if you consider where Matt's from, he's kind of from that general area. He's from kind of, I think, Eastern Ohio. Um,
Right.
and, and you could see Matt Campbell fitting in well, kind of with the Big Ten, with Penn State. Um, Obviously, I've got a couple other names that I wanted to bounce off you guys, but I guess first things first, Josh. What do you think about Matt Campbell's candidacy at Penn State?
Um, I think it's I think it would be a type of situation where um, it comes down to kind of what Bloom was talking about earlier this week, and it's going to kind of come down to the next 6 weeks and the big decisions that some of the bigger universities, need to make. Campbell's going to be out there for any job that any school would love to have him, but I think you see a lot of reports that he'd rather take an NFL job before he takes what he would consider a lateral move in college. Um, you kind of think back to like the Fred Hoibergs and the Tim Floyds in basketball, but I don't know if that's necessarily what he wants. I think he just wants the opportunity to be able to build what he's trying to do now, but he just wants the proper resources. So I think as long as you can give those to him, I don't think he leaves.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I think it's pretty clear that he's not interested in chasing the money. I could see Matt Campbell having some interest in the um, just kind of the tradition of Penn State, um, but I don't know. It would certainly be a lot of pressure. That's the one thing about when you have a really good head football coach like James Franklin, who I guess really didn't perform all that bad. He just had a tough stretch. I think you and I talked about it in the preseason how it really wasn't any secret that Penn State I probably had going into the season maybe some of the highest expectations that a college football program has ever had in the last decade. Usually, you
Absolutely.
don't see college football programs go into a season saying we need to win a championship or bust, just because there's so many teams involved, there's so many variables. But certainly, Penn State seemed to be kind of on that track of they were just had a very power hungry donor base, power hungry fan base who wanted to kind of get over the edge, and James Franklin wasn't able to get it done. So and so that's kind of where Matt Campbell lands. I kind of wanted to start off with him. I'm sure we'll talk about that more, and maybe even in the context of some other jobs. And that'll also kind of, like you mentioned, depend on how Iowa State's season goes. I thought one of them, I forget if it was Williams or Bloom, made up a really good point that the next choice to be the president of Iowa State might impact Matt Campbell's decision, his long-term future. So I guess the next name that I have, and Vic, I don't know if you had any thoughts on this, is that certainly there's been a lot of rumors about Matt Rule
Yes.
being rumored as going to Penn State. Now, obviously, when I first put this list together, it was before that Nebraska had that tough loss against Minnesota. So, I mean, certainly Matt Rule hasn't really been bad at Nebraska, but I don't know if he's been Penn State good at Nebraska. But certainly he has all the
That's
ties
just the
to
thing.
Penn State. What do you think?
What's really difficult about that decision is should have James Franklin been fired in the first place? Did he actually get
Right.
a shot to really hone it in and get his recruits together this season so he can go out next year and improve on their record from this previous season? As far as Matt Rule, he was born and raised in Pennsylvania. He was a walk-on at Penn State. He met his wife at Penn State.
Right.
I would really hate to see him leave Nebraska for the simple fact is that he's getting our guys ready to turn that next stage as far as like not quitting in the middle of games. I know last week really didn't show the fight that the Huskers have because we just got all played out coached. But with all the controversy going on, is your coach leaving this, and that, the players are trying to act like it's not affecting them, and they're trying to say, "Oh yeah, we're ready to play," and then we go out and just get embarrassed. Uh, is it a good fit for Matt Rule to go there? What if he loses 2-3 games? Is he out of the door next?
Exactly.
These are some great questions, JT.
Yeah, and I thought that Matt Rule handled, because he was asked about it in a press conference, and I thought that he was pretty transparent about it, and he seemed really open about the fact. And I think a lot of college coaches are starting to transition to this, where a lot of college coaches aren't really going for these top level jobs. That they kind of like being in these, kind of like Matt Campbell at Iowa State or Matt Rule at Nebraska, where maybe
Kurt
they're not the
Cignetti.
most. Yeah, or that's a great example. Those three guys, maybe not the most elite football jobs, but they're solid Power 4 football jobs where you make between $5 and $8 million, or obviously in Kurt Cignetti's case, $11 million, and maybe you don't exactly have the pressure. I think Matt Rule's exact quote was he enjoyed the fact that his family could sit in the stands during a football game, and probably alluding to the fact that other coaches in a more cutthroat fan base, the family can catch some shade if they're not playing so hot. So
Right.
Very true.
it seems like, and who knows? I mean, who knows what'll happen if Matt Rule does decide to go to Penn State? I won't fault him for it, but if it does, it almost kind of feels like it would be Penn State's TJ Otzelberger hire, where maybe not necessarily performing as well at your current position. Because if you look at TJ Otzelberger had a sub 500 record at UNLV before
Yes.
he came over to Iowa
Yeah.
State, and so but the ties were there, and the ties were overwhelming. So, and obviously in
This is
that
very
case,
true. I didn't think
it
about
really worked
this.
out. It
Hmm.
really worked out. So that's the one. I know people say that Matt Rule's not performing well enough to go to Penn State, and maybe that's true. I mean, certainly Penn State football, or certainly Iowa State basketball, is not Penn State football, or at least at the time that TJ Otzelberger was hired. But that's kind of the one comparison that I make is if the ties are there, if the fit is there, certainly the tides can change when if that were to happen. So that'll be interesting to see. So I guess I did want to I have 4 more names here. they're a little bit more high profile names. I'll kind of go through them a little bit quicker if you guys want
Yep.
to
Yeah.
chime
Go
in.
ahead. Go ahead.
Just
Read them
stop me.
off real quick. I'll see if something
Yeah.
pops out.
Yeah, because a lot of people made the good point of if you're going to pay $50 million to make James Franklin go away, you're probably going to take.
Who are you going to go get?
I think that the first name that isn't getting a whole lot of attention is that it'd be really interesting if Brian Kelly decided to take that Penn State job. It would kind of be like a Greg McDermott firing at Iowa State, where it would kind of be a win for both programs. I think obviously LSU has soured on Brian Kelly pretty quickly. It was a hire that never really made much sense, just from a fit wise, from a culture perspective. I think Brian Kelly is another Ohio guy where I think it'd be interesting if I think Brian Kelly would have some interest in that position, and I think it'd be interesting to see if that could work out. The next name that I have, and it's not quite as sexy of a name. I think he's going to kind of be the consolation prize of this next coaching carousel in college football, and that's Manny Diaz down in Duke. Manny Diaz does have a little bit of ties to Penn State. I think he was like a linebacker, defensive coordinator after he was fired at Miami. I think that's kind of a situation where if Penn State kind of misses on some of these home run swings and maybe Matt Campbell's not interested, maybe Matt Rule's not interested, I could see them kind of falling down to Manny Diaz. And seeing what he has. And then I got two more names. The next one is I don't think I've ever heard anybody say this name, but I think it's really interesting. It's probably not as great of a fit at Penn State, but kind of a same situation that he's in, kind of similar to James Franklin, where he's a really good coach, but he's just not performing up to expectations. That's Dabo Swinney in Clemson. Dabo has not enjoyed the same level of success that Clemson is used to. Clemson is in the ACC. A lot of people forget that Clemson's in the ACC, not the SEC. Dabo could be interested in making that jump to the Big Ten, to a more stable conference. Obviously, Dabo's pretty much only coached in the southeastern corner of the state, so I don't know if that would really work. I just think that's kind of a fun one.
I feel like Dabo should stay where he's at, for the simple fact is Penn State, they seem like they're not playing. If you're not going to take them to the playoffs, if you're not going to win them a national championship with this NIL-driven era of sports, it's going to be a tough place to even coach if you think about it, because you can't make any mistakes. You got to be perfect, and there's nothing in life that's perfect.
Well, it's turning it into a pro deal. You get 2 years to turn the program around, and if you haven't won more than 9 games in 2 years, then you're gone.
Yeah.
And that's where I think that a guy like Dabo could handle the pressure. I think that's the one quality that he has that might be alluring to Penn State, is that he has the ability to handle the pressure. Because if you kind of look at Penn State has really had this high level of success. And really, when I was putting this list together, I was wondering what could this Penn State brain trust be looking for as they look for a new head coach, considering they didn't think James Franklin was good enough. And the only thing that I could think of is that maybe they're looking for a guy who's either been in a college football championship or someone who's won a national championship in college football. And I believe the only guy that wouldn't leave this current job is Dabo Swinney. So I think that's interesting. The cultural fit may not work, but I think it'd be interesting from a pressure perspective. And then the last name that I have, I'm just going to glaze over it really quickly, because I think since I put this list together, I think it's already been shot down. As I did have Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame on there.
That would be a really, really good hire.
It would be a good hire. It's just Notre Dame's probably a better job, honestly.
He's an excellent young coach.
Yeah, he's legit, and obviously he has the college football playoff to national championship experience. Hasn't quite gotten to the finish line yet, but it's probably just it sounds like he's already turned the job down. You could probably, flip a coin as to what job is better between Notre Dame and Penn State. So It sounds like Freeman wouldn't be interested, but it sounds like he might have been one of Penn State's first calls, and it sounds like he might have turned them down.
Yeah.
At least that's the allegation. So that's what I've got. I don't know if you guys had any other thoughts, but
I would like to
that's what I
see
think
Urban
about
Meyer
it.
on a 3-year deal at Penn State.
Really,
You know,
You
when
like-
a,
he would
when a,
probably be the best. He would probably be the best choice if they
win a
could, if they
national
could pay him,
championship in year 2.
that's
Yeah,
true.
give him
I
15
I
million
think
a year. Shit.
I think he would win a national championship in his second or
In
third
3
year.
years.
Like
Yeah.
straight up. Yeah.
Yep.
I know it's a different situation, but I was so completely soured by what I saw in Jacksonville out of him. I just don't think he has the drive
Look at Nick
anymore.
Saban.
Well, when you've been coaching collegiate
Oh
athletes,
shit! Yeah, look at
you
Nick
know, most of your
Saban.
career, it's really hard to go in the pros and actually like get these, because you're dealing with like teenagers, and teenagers listen to adults more than a grown man who's getting paid more than you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got these guys driving Lambos and getting in car crashes, and you know, it's a totally different situation. I think it would. Me personally, I would love to coach college kids over NFL team. I think it's a lot
Yeah,
easier
that's
to hone
interesting.
in and get guys to fight for you in college than it is for the pros.
No, yeah, I
Yeah,
think you're probably right about that. It's a little easier to instill that discipline.
Hmm.
that's more of a team environment than it is Johnny come late lose.
Right. But that's interesting. Urban Meyer. Yeah, I'd heard people talking about that when it first happened, but I'm personally not big on that. But I guess I can't blame you guys. I can see how Penn State might be interested in that. And certainly, obviously, like you guys mentioned, he's a college championship winning coach, so can't argue with that.
Slim, who would you
All
like
right.
to see step up for Penn State?
Anybody but Matt Campbell. Anybody but Matt
That's
Campbell. I don't care who it
that's
is.
fair.
But
That's fair.
and then whoever takes the Penn State job, I hope it's anybody but Matt Campbell that steps into that role.
Guess
All
you
right,
can't argue
gentlemen.
with that.
Before we move on real quick, I was going through graphics the other day and I happened to cut this down. And I thought it looked like a movie poster. I just wanted to share it with everybody.
Fired in
Poor Billy
theaters
Napier.
Friday.
Yeah, Billy Napier and fired.
That's a tough spot to be in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
That's for
probably
sure.
the number 2 job that's opened up here is that Florida job. I haven't done a whole lot of digging into who might be interested in that job, but definitely a good one.
All right. Well, JT, is it time? Do we jump into the
Jump into the boys, guys. Jump into the boys. Jump into the Cyclones.
Do we? Okay, we're gonna go football. Okay,
Yep.
it's a big one.
This is what some are calling the season if you're irrational. I'd like to share with everybody today. I got a Facebook memory from 2009, and the post read, "The Cyclones are now 5-3, 1 win away from bowl eligibility. Woohoo," or something to that effect. And it had 2 likes on it, and one of those likes was JT, and the other one was none other than Alan Lazard.
Yeah,
Hey,
Proud of
I
you,
think
baby.
it's funny that here we are, nearly
the
16 years
Urbandale
later.
alum.
2
The
elite
Urbandale
ball
alum.
noters.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's funny. 16 years ago, 5-3 at this point in the season was looked at as a celebration, and if they happen to lose tomorrow, it's gonna be suicide watch for a bunch of Cyclone Nation, which is crazy to think about, that we've come this far in this short amount of time, that this is the pinnacle we've reached. So I'm just
Yeah.
curious as to how you're feeling and what,
No, yeah, it's
what your thoughts
interesting
are going
because
in.
I know that Williams and Bloom were talking about this a little bit, how the attitude has changed quite a bit in college football as to what kind of causes you to be happy at the end of the year.
Right.
Where kind of like you said, it's almost like the the BCS championship game and the college football playoff used to be so reserved for the elites of the elites, whether it was only 2 or 4 teams getting a shot, that I think there was a lot more comfort in these consolation prizes, like
Going
these
8-4.
New Year's Six. Yeah, going 8-4, going 9-3, 10-2, and going to a decent bowl game around New Year's Day. But I think because they've cracked the door open a little bit more and given more opportunity for teams to make the college football playoff, where you're gonna get a team from each power conference in the league. I suppose that's the only thing that answers that question. It's just that because there's a little bit more opportunity, if you miss on that opportunity, it just makes you feel a lot worse, which is kind of crazy that it's come to that. But yeah, you're right. If Iowa State loses this game against BYU, it's not looking great. Even if Iowa State wins out, they're going to need some help, and that's the shitty thing about these big conferences, is that there's no room for error. You're going to have to rely on these silly tiebreakers. But yeah, it'll be fun. It's going to be a fun game. It feels like it's been a year since I've been at Jack Trice Stadium. I think it's been close to a month since the last home game. It'll be interesting to see if maybe some of the edge has been taken off the fan base, because I know I guess that'll be kind of interesting to see, to just kind of how that shapes up. But kind of pivoting to the game, I think one piece of good news is it sounds like I guess I should check. I don't know. I think that Kyle Conradi was looking to
I
be
got
back.
you,
Okay,
brother.
got
Don't
it
you
here.
worry.
You got it here. All right. So yeah, he's been kind of hovering around that questionable spot all week long. It'll be interesting
Sounds like
to
he's
see if
gonna
he
play.
gets moved up. Yeah, it kind of sounds like he's going to play, which would be great. Now I don't know how it works with kickers. I don't know if it's a situation where I'm guessing he's not going to be booming 63-yard field goals tomorrow, but obviously if we can get
God,
a
if we're in that position, God help us.
reliable shot within 50 yards. So, and obviously Carson Hansen, it looks like Carson Hansen is going to be back as well. I don't know where things sit with Dominique Orange. I think it's a little less likely that Orange is going to be able to play, which is certainly a bummer. But those are kind of the 3 big names, I believe. I guess I didn't even realize now that Caleb Brazina's on that list as well. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, Carson's probably going to play. He's probable. Conradi is probably going to play as well. And I think it has been alluded to that Orange is on the doubtful side of questionable.
Well, I think he's probably going to play. He could be on a limited snap count.
Yeah, he just might be on a little bit of a pitch count. Yeah.
Which, if that's the case, Lord help us.
Yeah. So they certainly need all the help they can get on that defensive line. So, yeah, BYU's a hell of a team. They're ranked 11 for a reason. They're a really gritty team.
Right.
I watched one of their games. I guess it was the night of our last show. I forget who it was against, but they have a really good quarterback. I forget what his name is. It's got a
Cincinnati.
Kind of funny name.
It's the pledge, guys. It's the pledge that they take. They're just all jacked up and ready to go. They're ready to hit somebody. They're ready to hit something. They're not allowed to hit in real life. So when the lights come on and they're on that field, they like to get rowdy. So it's very interesting to see BYU make some jumps as far as the program. Basketball, like they're making a jump. They just signed the number 1 basketball recruit.
That's a conversation for another podcast about
that
basketball. That team is scary.
Yeah.
Super young but super talented. It seems like in the Big 12, you guys just take turns beating the crap out of each other. Who's up next?
Yeah.
That's pretty true. Like you saw last week, Arizona State beat Texas Tech, and
who's seen that?
Yeah, who saw that come? And that was kind of
I did not see that coming.
The first time in a while that the Big 12 that it looked like the Big 12 was going to have this king of the castle, probably since TCU a couple years ago. But nope, Texas Tech fell to a bit of a compromise.
And here we are again.
Yeah. So.
All right. So we were talking about teams. We were talking about 10-2 potentially being a disappointment, for some fans, since we're since we're all fans of teams that are 5-2 right now, I'd like for one of you to make the argument that going 10-2 in the regular season, not making the conference championship game, and then going to a bowl game and winning and finish the season 11-2 is worse than missing out on the championship game that you could end up losing to go 11-3.
Well, I would say just making a playoff or even just making a bowl game in general is success. You think about it, if you have more wins and losses on the season, your team did something right. It's very, very hard to go undefeated, especially in today's college football. Talent, like the talent is more spread out. You know, everybody's getting paid. So you can go to a small school and get a lot of money. You can go to a big school and get a lot of money. I feel
Yeah,
like
but where are you going to
football is
play?
at, to be honest with you, Josh, your question is kind of it's kind of a jacked up question. For the simple fact is, if your team doesn't make a playoff, or if you lose in a conference championship game, you're going to explode on the scene anyway. So I just say I look forward to like any team making a playoff or even a bowl game as a success. So I'm gonna
I
answer it
just
a little differently than you asked, but you're a little bit more biased and a little bit more hard nosed towards wins and losses, and your team has had some horrible losses over the years. Uh, well, not as the last couple of years. You guys have been really consistent, a lot better than Nebraska, but I feel like when your team loses, like you take it so hard. So you're asking kind of a biased question here, brother.
well, no, I'm just saying if they were to win out and then win a bowl game and go 11-2, like, because there are people out there that say that would be a disappointment. To me, that would not be a disappointment. I could only dream of going 11-2. That was something you would do in a video game as a kid growing up with Iowa State. That's not something that seemed feasible.
Yeah, and it's kind of a situation. I mean, obviously, I compare it to last year, where I was so bummed that obviously Iowa State got boat raced in the Big 12 championship game, and honestly, going into that Pop Tarts Bowl last year, I really wasn't all that psyched about it. But as soon as that opening kick happened, I felt like I was right back into it. I snapped back. I mean, obviously,
Right.
you and I were next to each other. We were watching the game. We got really into that
Won a,
game.
won a lot of money that day.
Yeah, yeah, and we won some. We bought some Pop Tarts as well. So yeah, I just think. I mean, you always want to win the game. You know, I think people that look at it that way kind of lose sight of competition as a whole. You're not gonna go to a bunch of kids playing
You can't
basketball
win them all,
and ask them. This pickup basketball game that you guys are playing at Lions Park doesn't really matter. I mean, it's competition. Whenever you're out there battling, no matter how low or high the stakes are. It's always fun to root for your team or compete. So I understand kind of during the downtime, kind of in the middle of the week when nothing's really going on, you might feel this, you might kind of feel jaded, but it just seems like that whenever that ball tips off, whenever that ball gets kicked off, I think fans and players get right back into competition mode and they get right back to it. So that's kind of my thought on it. Where I suppose obviously missing the championship game, it's disappointing. I wouldn't call it a disappointment though. If you allow me to
Yeah,
kind of
I'd agree
you
100%.
see the difference in what I mean there, even though it kind of says the same thing. So yeah, I get it though. But yeah, I think there's still going to be reasons to have good times, even if Iowa State loses tomorrow or if they lose at some point and don't get to a conference championship game.
Bex, you got anything you want to add?
Well, last time Nebraska made it to a conference championship game, we got completely waxed by a team we beat earlier that year. So uh, I understand how you feel and the question and everything, but I look at it as if you make a bowl game, that's success, man. That's success. Anything post season, It should be rewarded.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they're losing sight of like a good 8-4 team or a good 9-3 team with, a couple, a couple tilts that go the opposite direction because, whether it be an interception or it be, a costly fumble, or maybe you went for it late in the game and you didn't get it and it gave up a big play going back the other direction. Like, I feel like the results kind of get lost on the field and everyone just kind of looks at the number. And if you don't win 10 games in a lot of people's eyes anymore, it seems like you're a failure. And then once you win 10 games, if you don't go undefeated, it seems like you're an even bigger failure. So I feel like there's too many people that are looking for perfection, and they don't understand that perfection isn't out there like that. It's not. This isn't a video game. Someone's got to lose.
Yeah.
There's a good chance it could be you. More times than not. So
somebody's got to lose.
With that being said about Nebraska, JT, you have anything left that you want to add about the Clones there?
No, I don't have a whole lot. We can move it off of football, or Iowa State football.
All right, Beggs, why don't you give us a synopsis for the game tomorrow? It is an 11 o'clock kick. For anybody that is unaware, clearly it's game 8. I don't know why they I don't know why that's the biggest part of the graphic, but I do enjoy
the fireworks. You know, it's got some fireworks going off in the background.
I do enjoy the theatrics that goes on with it. But how you feeling about the game tomorrow, brother? Are you feeling a bounce back?
I think this is going to be a defensive game. You look at Northwestern; they are 5-2. They're coming off 4 consecutive wins. They're looking to come in and take care of business. I think they feel like they can beat Nebraska. Nebraska really is the offensive line has not been very favorable in the last several weeks. We need to control the line of scrimmage, and we got to get the ground game going if we want to win this game. I feel like when Nebraska plays teams like Minnesota and Northwestern, we forget our identity because those teams have similar identities. They're trying to figure themselves out, and they don't want to back down to anyone. So I think it comes down to the O-line play. I think Uncle Raiola needs to get his stuff together and get these boys hungry, these hog mollies, these big guys, 6'5", 315, 325-pound guys. I think he needs to get them riled up.
Protecting his damn nephew.
Yeah, I think somebody needs to take these guys on steak dinners. They need to be dropping off some NIL envelopes in their pockets or something. These boys, they need to hold up because we have one of the best running backs, I would say, in the Big Ten. And, week after week, he's been showing his production. But last week on that Friday, that was terrible, man. We couldn't run the ball at all. Like, our offense was just non-existent. Our defense was extremely gassed. We're on the field way too long. I felt like the first half we showed a little bit of promise, but in order to win this game against Northwestern, we got to be firing on all cylinders, and that starts with the offensive line.
Yeah, I think they gotta come out quick. I think you need that 15 play initial drive to kind of establish yourself. You got to come away with points, regardless if you get the ball first or not. I think you maybe want the ball first tomorrow. It's an early game, like you said, Northwestern's won 4 straight. They're coming off
that's a hot team.
Some pretty big wins. Obviously they're the reason that James Franklin no longer has a job. So they're kind of riding this emotional high right now. Maybe if you catch them off guard early, they kind of forget how to handle adversity real quick, especially I know the crowd's going to be rocking tomorrow. I know they're especially going to be mad after the loss on the road last week. So I think it's going to be a great environment. I don't know. I just think I think Nebraska puts up 30. I think they win.
Yeah, I'm going 32-17 Nebraska.
Yeah. I'll go.
You have anything to add, JT?
No, I don't have anything to add. I kind of just basically what Josh said, where this is a really hot team, kind of not fresh off that, they had a good game against Purdue, but before that they kind of put the final nail in James Franklin's coffin. So yeah, I think it's important to jump on this team early and not let them ride that wave that they've been riding. They're probably one of the hotter teams in college football right now. So need to stymie them pretty quickly.
Yeah. I think Raiola I think we'll have a big game. I think we'll be able to see some of those fancy throws he likes to do. Throwing left-handed, let's try to eliminate that, and let's just get some nice passes down the field. You know what I'm saying? Let's get a couple tutties. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. So hopefully my boys come out and play hard. Win, lose, or draw, as long as we play hard, I will always just give them all the love in the world. So
Hey, that's what fandom's all about. At the end of the day, just relax. It ain't worth jumping off the bridge.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll let you know when it's worth jumping off the bridge, but it ain't anytime soon.
right.
Good times are still around the corner. All right, gentlemen. So before we move into whatever we're going to talk about next, I would like to pull this up for the both of you. What you're looking at here is my dad's bet from last night, 5 minutes before kickoff. And this hit.
I think it's time for Matt to call the number.
I
don't even know who that is.
Hey, he scored the first touchdown of the game, though. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. Because I know myself. I like to play NBA first basket wagers. Those
how do you pronounce that last name, Roberts?
Gadsden.
Yeah, that's how it's a Gadsden. Yeah.
How do you pronounce his first name? Aronde
Gadsden. That's a heck of a name.
Hey, yeah, it is.
That's a heck of a name.
That is a good one.
Underdog coming out scoring a tutty.
That sounds like something we'd come up with. But yeah, he sent me that right after he scored last night, and I got the notification on my phone at the same time, and I thought that was good. Oh, speaking of which, here I got one more thing I'd like to share with everybody. JT, we talked about this earlier in the week.
Yeah.
So there's two big stories.
There's
2 big stories going on within this two paragraph or this 2-sentence or whatever you want to call it here.
Post.
There you go. So this reads, ESPN reporter Brian Windhorst, who lives in Omaha, was on the flight that made an emergency landing at Eppley Airfield and spoke with KETV about his experience. This is from Monday this last week.
Brian Windhorst repping the ONE. I didn't know that.
Bakes,
how do you
feel about Brian Windhorst living in Omaha?
I actually think that's pretty cool.
I was shocked to hear that.
I mean, he travels a lot. So, I mean, it makes sense to live somewhere low
middle
key.
Hub.
Mm-hmm.
A middle
it's
hub.
Either Nebraska or Ohio, you would think where he would reside.
Yeah, I was wondering how he kind of ended up in Nebraska. I'm pulling up his Wikipedia page, and he's obviously from Akron, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know how he ended up in
LeBron
Omaha,
guy.
but it looked like he. Yeah, I guess
I don't know how Josh ended up in Nebraska either, but he seems to be well planted.
Hey, well, when I seen that he lived in Omaha, I just thought about my first thought was, imagine pulling up to a stoplight and looking over in the car next to you, and it looks like Brian Windhorst. Without knowing that he lived here, I would think I was going crazy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, we're in different circles because I've never seen him.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys if you saw him at the casino or something like that.
I've never seen Brian Windhorst anywhere in Omaha.
I don't know, Roberts. Maybe we might see him at the College World Series when it comes up this year.
you never know.
Yeah,
You never know who
You
you
never
might
know.
see in Omaha, Nebraska.
that's true.
Hey, home of Warren Buffett.
That's true.
hmm
That's facts.
The $1 billion man.
All
Well,
right.
speaking of events that happened in Omaha, do we want to transition to an exhibition basketball game that happened in Omaha about a week and a half
Oh
ago?
yeah, we can. Yeah, we can run over that real quick. I don't have a graphic for that, unfortunately, but
No,
Are
yeah,
you
yeah,
I
we
sure?
guess
can.
I had some notes. I wanted to hear just kind of your, because obviously you were in the building, you were at the CHI whatever. What were your thoughts? I had some people that were there as well. They weren't particularly impressed. I'm curious what your thoughts were on the Cyclones.
Well, so I had the fortunate experience of showing up just at the very end of the 23-0 run. So I didn't get to experience the probably the letdown that everyone else felt that, got to watch that entire, first half kind of play out the way it did. I thought coming out in the second half they looked a lot sharper. They clearly had clamped down a little more on defense, and kind of tried to start running a couple sets here and there. I don't think it's anything to worry about. I thought they looked fine overall. Obviously, they're missing their leader in Lipsy.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
big thing.
they're not going to go 0 for 14 from 3 again the rest of the season.
Yeah,
So
that was crazy. Just seeing that 0 for 14. And Milan went 0 of 7. That's
I mean, get it out of the way now.
yeah, I suppose.
There's a reason this shit used to be private so no one could see it.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
But
that's
now it's all about money.
one of the
so-
worst shooting performances you'll ever see. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I'm glad I didn't even try because it sounds like people were having issues with the $8 stream. But yeah, that's obviously what stuck out to me is just a terrible shooting night. 14 from 3. I don't think they were all that great from the free throw line either. They might have been about 50% from the free throw line. I guess I was surprised. It looks like that Otzelberger went pretty straight up with his rotations in regards to like the minutes that the guys would get. So that's kind of interesting. I think obviously I had kind of been wondering if Jamarian Bateman would start over Heisey, and Heisey would kind of be the sixth man.
Yes.
Obviously they decided not to go that route. I'm kind of wondering if we'll get to the point where Dominic Nelson starts over Heisey. I think he was one of the few that had a decent game. Obviously, Joshua Jefferson had a good game, and I think Nelson had a pretty good game. I don't think Bateman had a very good game. So, yeah, but like you said, they didn't have QB1. So, and it sounds like I did see a tweet from I think it was from John Rothstein that Lipsy should be ready to go first game of the season, which I didn't think that they would try to play him against Fairleigh Dickinson, but it sounds like he might play on that first game on November 3rd. So. I mean, and the final score really didn't end up being too bad. I think they lost by like 12 points or something like that.
Yeah, 71 to 58.
Yeah, so if you lose by 13 points, going 14 from 3, that's really not too bad, especially against a team like Creighton. So I guess we'll see what happens. They're obviously going to run it back in about a month with when things get real. So,
Well, I think
I was. Go ahead, Robert. Sorry.
I was gonna finish off with this, and then I'll give you the 4 bigs, but I don't think the box score is necessarily indicative of what they were trying to do. I know every time Jefferson seemed to grab a rebound, that was when they kind of seemed to really get in transition. So you kind of wonder if they ran like a soft fast break kind of look. That seemed to be when they were their most successful in the second half. Obviously, you go 0 for 14 from 3. No one's going to have a good shooting game. I think the most important thing is you went 0 for 14, especially in a scrimmage. That means that everyone's still shooting. And I'd rather you get the yips or get whatever it is in your system out now rather than, when I really need you in a month. So I know they have a game on Sunday. I'm sure that'll be whatever it is, but then you get 3 tune-up games before you hit up Mississippi State. What is that? November 11th,
The 10th, yeah.
the 10th.
10th,
Yep.
Monday,
So, yep. So that's kind of what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Bakes.
Yeah, I was really expecting like a 78-74 type of game. Either team, it really didn't matter, 6-7, whatever. But I I got a lot of respect for Iowa State. I've been there. I've watched several of their games like live. I would like to say they're probably my second favorite college basketball team behind Nebraska. I used to have Creighton tickets back when McDermott's son played, when Dougie Fresh was out there doing his thing. Um I don't know. I just think both programs are on the up and up, and Iowa State is like hard nosed program. They grind it out. You guys get some talent in, and you guys just grind it out. And I just don't know. I just feel like the game should have been a little bit more competitive. Creighton did look really really good, especially out in transition, and they were able to knock down some very very key buckets to secure that victory. But it's preseason.
Well, they
I
looked
look for
really good. They looked really good for about 23 straight points there in the first half.
Yeah. But you know me, man. I've been a fan of Iowa State since Marcus Pfizer days. You remember my boy Burton on his little comeback
Oh,
at
yep,
halftime when I called it. I was
yep,
like, he about to score 20 some odd
yep,
points in the second half, and that's exactly what he
yep.
did.
Threw down that
So
dunk.
yeah,
Good
I'm
times.
interested to follow in Iowa State this year and see how you guys
Oh
pan
man,
out.
all three of us have that in common. We've all seen Iowa State win a Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Good
Good
times.
stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Speaking of
one thing I'll say real quick to add on to your point, Josh. I think it almost seems like that with Jefferson. I think it'll be interesting to see how they deploy him. It sounds like that he might transition into a little bit of like a Royce White, George Niang role, where
yes,
he might
yes.
initiate the offense a little bit. So I think that's one thing that I'm kind of looking forward to. That we saw a little bit of it last year, but certainly it seems like that Jefferson is going to be more of a focal point, especially as I'm guessing that maybe Lipsy doesn't handle the ball quite as much, just to maybe keep a load off him for a little bit. So
Spacing.
yeah, I think that'd be interesting to see.
Their biggest issue with injuries last year was spacing. They had no spacing, especially once Momcilovic went down. It'll be if you can get Jefferson running the point, and you can get Lipsy kind of as an off ball point. You're only going to open the floor that much more, which opens up Mommy and whoever's the five on the floor at that point, shooting on the wing. That gives them
I
all.
feel like Mommy's going to go off this year. Several games. I think he's going to have 5 premier games where he's going to light it up. There's going to be a bunch of scouts there. I think he's going to play it through, because I remember last year in the biggest moment he kind of choked a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think with another year of experience, with the team camaraderie and all that, I think he's going to go out and really really showcase his talents.
Yeah, I mean, and kinda
TJ
like
wants him to shoot his ass off.
Yeah, he does, and I guess he certainly tried against Creighton, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it's getting to the point where I think that people were cutting him some slack a lot these past couple years just because he's an underclassman. It's kind of getting to the point where it's going to be put up or shut up for Momcilovic. He needs to start showing us
Yep. This is the
And-
year. This is the year.
where, because I mean, I know that there was some whispers of before he stepped on campus that he could be like a one and done or a two and done guy.
Right.
Obviously, that didn't be the case. So he's I guess it might be a little harsh to call him a disappointment, but he certainly hasn't quite been what hasn't been consistent as Vic, as you kind of talked about, as we thought he
Yeah.
was. So he's going to be relied upon a lot more, and I think he needs to start to show us something. And it sounds like that Otzelberg is trying to give him as much confidence as he can. He's got the
greenest light. He's got the greenest light names.
So we'll see how that goes.
Well, kind of staying with Iowa State. I was watching watching the game last night, and this stat happened to pop on screen. I took a quick screenshot of it. I just thought this was kind of incredible. Halliburton scoring more than 20, 33 and 4 with 12 assists, 20 and 3. When he plays, they've almost doubled their losses. And when he doesn't, they have a losing record.
He's the straw that stirs the drink.
And just that was beautiful. The Pacers have looked all right so far. Biggs, I'm kind of curious as to if you've been able to catch any of their action yet, and kind of.
I actually watched them in here in the basement, right outside the studio, just the other day. Was it yesterday?
Yeah,
they went off. I was sitting here with Be Positive and Spencer from Hybrid Promotions and OTT Records, and overtime, like against OKC, it was a big time game. Obviously, some stars are injured. You got Williams injured on OKC, and you got Halliburton coaching from the floor. But it seemed like both teams were very, very hungry, ready to go. The start of the basketball season has actually been pretty amazing, extremely entertaining. Stars are showing up, and everybody's showing out.
Well, yeah, SJ had 55 points. Goodness gracious.
Yeah,
he balled out. Speaking of balling out, here's another little stat I got you. They're gonna have to reinvent a word for what they call it when Wembanyama sets a record that hasn't even been done before. Like the amount of records that he's setting that no one has even sniffed or even knew could be a record, they just seem to pop up like every 5 days anymore. I mean, this is game 1 of the season. Like, it's just incredible what he's doing. It's almost not fair.
Yeah, he looked very, very comfortable. He really did look comfortable out there. He was pretty much doing whatever he wanted. Step back threes, transitional layups, windmill dunks, reverse dunks, like catching
blocks
alleys.
into transition, step back threes. It was.
He was most definitely an eraser out there on the boards. But it's good to see George Gervin on this list twice. Actually, 3 times. The Iceman.
I'll look, Kawhi's on here a couple of times too. I guess I didn't even look at the rest of the list.
Yeah, Tony Parker's up there. David Robinson.
Larry Kenon. Vic, what you know about Larry Kenon?
I don't know, man. I was probably like 2 years old when he was hooping. But yeah, no, Wemby's looking pretty good. It'd be interesting to see if he can carry over that success he had the other night, like throughout the season. Anybody could drop 40 in the NBA. I'm talking about somebody off the bench can drop 40 in the NBA. So I don't want to make a big deal about it. Yeah, he's also got arrested. So
we can use that as a good segue.
Yeah, you could actually tell that he's been throwing games, Terry Rozier. You got a graphic for this situation, Roberts?
I don't have a graphic for it, unfortunately. I could maybe curate one real quick. If you guys want to talk about it, I'll see what I can cook up.
Well, I was watching SportsCenter earlier today, and they were just showing him like turning the ball over. He's just pretty much like rolling the ball on the ground and just giving it to the other team several different times. Like, yeah, did he score 12 points in that process? Yeah, but how many turnovers did you have? Like senseless turnovers where it's just like, what are you doing, bro? Are you getting paid? Come to find out, he's getting paid.
Yeah, that's crazy. I just don't see the motivation why guys do this. Oh boy, did he accidentally leave the? Okay. But yeah, I think it's
I'm still here. I'm removing myself so I can look for this picture real quick.
Okay, gotcha.
You got it.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting. Obviously, you're starting to look. Obviously, just all sports and all sports media is just becoming so gambling intensive that whenever these stories come across. It's just a really bad look. I know there was a video going around on ESPN on Get Up when they were first talking about this story. Greenberg was talking about it, and they're talking about the influence of gambling in sports, and all the while that little ESPN bet sponsorship was there, and they had to take it off, and it's the risk you run, man. When you make it more acceptable, this is gonna happen.
Most definitely. Yeah, I find it to be crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, brother.
No, I was gonna say one thing, and it seems like some of these players are still really, really ignorant about the situation. But just a couple hours ago, I saw that they were talking to Jaylen Brown about it, and he was kind of complaining about how pro athletes don't benefit from the profits that are made in sports gambling, when in reality, the reason that this TV money is exploding is because you got all these gambling companies that are paying ad money to the TV companies. So I think there's just a lot of ignorance as to how influential sports gambling is, and just the economics of sports, and how much these guys are getting paid. So but I still don't get it. I don't know. These NBA players are making so much money these days. What's the benefit to even risking this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's ego or if it's addiction. You lose a couple bets, you want to just keep putting money down, or if you just that far up your own woo-ha that you just feel like you just can't be touched. I'm a millionaire. I play in the NBA. They're not going to care about these bets. I don't know what it is, but I find it to be crazy that Chauncey Billups gets arrested. Terry Rozier gets arrested. Damon Jones gets arrested. I hear there's referees that are involved that are about to get shaken down as well. So it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't understand the motivation. But yeah, like you said, Chauncey Billups going down like that, I just don't. Now, obviously, it sounds like the Chauncey Billups stuff is even crazier. It sounds like he was having some issues with like rigging poker games and
X-ray glasses.
rigging. Yeah, X-ray glasses.
Like he had special tables. Yeah, X-ray table. Yeah,
that sounds like it could be some. Yeah, that could get.
And again, what's the motivation to do all this stuff? God, I just don't.
Yeah, you're the head coach of an NBA team. What are you doing, bro?
What
it's either addiction or ego, man. Maybe it's both.
Yeah. So I guess, Josh, what are your thoughts on the situation?
Well, I'll give you my thoughts, but this is the best graphic I could find. Is
what? It's a magazine cover? Like, what is this? A documentary coming out?
It's a Netflix documentary.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's a parody of a movie called Molly Team. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the quickest thing I could find coming up real quick. I just thought I'd throw that up there. It's been on the radar for a couple of years, and it's funny because Rozier, if you're not a Twitter habitualist like I am, especially on the NBA side, they've been calling for his head for rigging games for over a year and a half now. So it's kind of ironic that he finally got caught up, and Billups at a certain point as well was kind of called out for that. Now I know they're not implicating him in the sports betting, but if you're wearing X-ray glasses with cameras on a poker table to win $10,000, who's to say you're not pulling a guy 5 minutes early? 5 minutes early to make sure that you cover a spread or do whatever, especially if you're the fucking head coach. Like, I don't know, man. That's really sticky. I seen Kevin Garnett is implicated in some of this.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, I hear Damon Jones.
Isn't a great because he was in that Uncut Gems film where he's really getting on the gambling stuff. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, they say there's a high-level boxer that could be involved out of New York as well.
Well, and wasn't there something going on about how the NBA kind of knew all about some of this, and
yes,
at least with the Terry Rozier stuff, and they kind of swept it under the rug. I think that might end up being the bigger story is what exactly the NBA was doing, covering up this kind of stuff. Because I mean, it's such a cliche that the cover up is worse than the crime. So I'll be interesting to hear a little bit more about what's going on there with the NBA kind of allowing this to happen, and knowing that Rozier is going to get in trouble and allowing him to still get out there, allow him to be a party to trades and stuff like that.
So the story on that is that March 23rd game against the Hornets. The NBA has alert systems in place for certain bets. With the sport books is like an insurance policy or whatever you want to call it, and it had tipped them off that Terry Rozier had an alarming number of bets coming in on the unders for that night. So they knew immediately that something was already wrong. Sure as shit, he went down with the injury. The unders hit. The story goes that they counted $200,000 in cash at his place, which is even fucking crazier because you have $19 million in the damn bank. If you want to count $200,000 in cash, why don't you just go pull out $200,000 in cash real quick? Like, I just don't get it. But so after that, the NBA knew about it, and then he didn't play the rest of the year with the same injury that he went down with. But at the time, it kind of looks like they're trying to cover it up that they did catch somebody, and they're just kind of trying to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, Terry Rozier has career earnings of $135 million if he would have played out the rest of this year.
Hasn't really earned any of that money, to be honest with you. He's been so hot and cold over the last 8 seasons, man. You don't know what you're getting from this guy.
Shit, I'll go hot and cold for the next 8 years if I get $136 million. I don't give a damn.
This dude will average 17 for a month, and then he'll average 8 for the rest of the year. So it's really kind of hard.
It kind of makes
but
sense.
You got to get it how you live, I guess. I don't know. But what's really throwing me off is while Damon Jones is using LeBron James for inside information without his knowledge. Like, what is that about?
Yeah,
that's like me calling up Josh. That's like me calling up Josh and asking if he's going to finish his sprinkler job, and we're doing over and unders on it. I'm like, Josh, you broke your toe last week. How are you feeling? You going to make it to work today? You guys going to finish that project? Like, how are you going to use your own friend? In that manner like that? Like, that's just crazy, man.
Nah, bro, I'm not playing tonight. Oh, bet. Nah, they ain't doing that job today.
Right, yeah.
Ugh,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
I don't know. I think the X-ray glasses is the craziest thing about it. Like,
the glasses in the card table, like.
Yeah. You remember Austin Powers?
That's next level ops right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Austin Powers when who was that number 2 with the eye patch or whatever? They were playing cards at that table, and he zoomed in with his little eye patch to see what the card was. And that's some shit like that. Like, come on, man.
Some spy versus spy. Shout out to Chubbs Bumperson.
Well, I got one more thing that I want to cover tonight, and then we could probably go ahead and try and land this plane. Let me see if I can find this in here. Bakes, I'm going to need a little bit of assistance from you on this.
All right. We got the Nightmare at the Beach House costume party. $50 cash to the best dressed. Kitchen is open till 10. I hear the goat sliders are amazing. Shout out to Julie for always being there for us. And
yes, shout out to Julie.
Letting us throw whatever kind of show we want here at the Omaha Beach House. We got special guests, Loud Pack ENT Studios, a collection of great artists. Some of them are from Omaha, some of them from Lincoln. A really, really talented group. It's going to be sponsored by Hyper Promotions and Self-Made, the label, of course. We're going to have Be Positive, Brody One, Crooks, Saving St. Cloud, my boy SJ23, also known as Slim, right above me here on this picture.
Yes, sir.
We got Ash. We got Ash from the past. We got Mark Patrick, one of my best friends.
Yes,
one of
sir.
my longest lasting friends in this world today. And then we got Justin Pickett, the very, very, very talented Justin Pickett, bringing his stuff to the stage. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be on Halloween night. So I'll just look forward to seeing the city step out, and I'll hopefully everybody dresses up. I'm going as a Ghostbuster myself. Uh, Obviously, I'm not able to win the cash prize, but yeah, I look forward to being a great night.
Oh, so you're going as a Ghostbuster?
Yes, I am. This is breaking news. No one really knows this, so
Well,
now
like
we
you
know.
said, you're ineligible for the cash prize, and I guess that means
Well,
I'm
of course.
also ineligible for the cash prize.
Yeah.
But I plan on going shopping tomorrow after I get off
Okay.
work,
All right. All right.
and I was trying to figure out if I should incorporate the boot or not. It's a 50-50 chance that I'll have the boot on next Friday. So, but we're
Are you
playing
able to move the
regardless.
toe yet? Are you able to move the
Um,
toe yet?
Yeah, I can move it a little bit. I did some laps around the parking lot tonight before we went on air, and it
You
did
just
all
you
right.
start sprinting? Did you do some
No,
light
hell
jogging,
no.
or
Oh, hell
did you
no.
go on a
I was in a
full-fledged
pair.
sprint?
I was in a pair of slides, and I just walked around the parking lot.
Okay.
So
Well, it's
trying
good.
to
It's good to see
trying
you
to
out
build
there
her up.
taking chances.
Trying to build her up. JT, what time are you going up to the game tomorrow?
I'll probably head up about 11 or so. With the a little bit cooler weather and maybe a little bit of dejection in the fan base. It maybe won't be quite as crazy as it was as September. I'd love to be proved wrong, but I'm sure it'll still be a great crowd. Maybe just not quite as early of arriving. But yeah, probably about 11 or so, 2:30 kick, and we'll roll the dice, see what happens against a good BYU team.
Yeah. It's gonna be a tough 6 hours for me. Obviously, I'm an integrated Husker now, so their pain is my pain, and then I could fall on the ultimate sword tomorrow afternoon. So, but regardless, it's gonna be a good day. I'm super pumped up for it. I can't wait. Try and fly through the early mornings worth of work, and yeah, get ready to strap in. It's gonna be a great day.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch the Huskers right at 11. As soon as that game's over, I'm going straight to the Iowa State game. Check it out. Check out my buddies, boys, and see if we can get some wins tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, we need them.
Get a couple of dubs.
Yeah,
we need them. I guess the one thing I do want to add before we land this plane, AJ Klein's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame tomorrow for Iowa State.
AK-47.
AK-47. Ironically, BYU's quarterback's number is also 47. I kind of wonder if there was a little bit of cat and mouse that they might have played on that.
That'd be clever.
And and with that, Bakes, do you want to land the plane tonight? I guess I don't know if you've landed the plane before.
I landed the plane, but then after I landed it, you start talking about more segments.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna go ahead and let you land
landed the plane, and then you overran. Then you overran the runway.
Oh yeah, that's all right. We'll circle back around.
Crashed in the river.
I'm gonna have you land this one.
We'll circle back around one more time, baby.
Shout out to Brian Windhorst.
Yes. Communication was lost. For the Self-Made Sports Network, this is Friday Night Live. I am with Young Bakes and JT. We wish you guys a great weekend, and we hope all of your football teams win.